I was in college at the University of North Texas. It was the summer after my first year there. And I was writing some music that wasn't really jazzy, you know. And I basically just got a group of like 9 of my friends and musicians at the school that I thought kind of identified with me. I got them together, and like once a week we'd just meet at my house and play my tunes. And actually our first gig was in the basement of a pizza place called J&J's Pizza on the Square, like a couple weeks before school started, or a week before school started, of my second year. And since then we've been a band. You know, we've accumulated members and made like, I don't know, I guess we just made our 10th record, so. It's not something that I expected to continue. I wouldn't have named it Snarky Puppy if I expected it to be around for a decade or more, or 2, you know, but yeah, that's kind of how the whole thing came about. It's been a slow snowball. We play a lot of gigs. I think the band has played something close to like 1,200 gigs or something, and there's like 40 guys that are in the band that kind of move in and out of the rotation, and that sounds like it makes things more complicated, but actually it makes things simpler, because you don't have to worry about guys burning out on the road. You know, you can play 11 months a year and it's fine because everybody's only doing 4 months or something, you know. And we tour in big chunks. We don't do a gig on Thursday and then 3 gigs the next week. We do like September, October, November, half of December, you know, and then you just book everyone and they know that for those months they're out. You know, we use technology to our advantage for sure. There's a lot of emailing that goes on and texting, but mostly it's just everybody takes care of their business, and that makes things easier. Yeah, Sylva was a very special project for us. We tend to do like a normal Snarky Puppy record, which is just members of the band, instrumental music that we wrote. We'll do one of those, and then we'll do 1 or 2 special projects. Like we've done a record with a kid from Burundi, a young refugee from Central Africa. We've done 2 family dinner albums where we feature guest vocalists and guest instrumentalists. And then Sylva, which is a record we made with the Metropole Orkest, a 52-piece symphony orchestra from the Netherlands. And when I met with the conductor, Jules Buckley, who's just like my brother, you know, he's amazing. We talked about whether, you know, what kind of project we wanted to do. Do we want to do existing Snarky Puppy tunes with new arrangements or new material? And there was no question that new material was going to be the most interesting thing, because they're a very unique orchestra. They're not a normal symphonic orchestra. They're like a pop and jazz, like a groove orchestra. I mean, to me, they're like the groove orchestra of the planet. So it gave me some real unique opportunities compositionally to take things places, and I wrote about an hour's worth of music for them and us, kind of together, you know. I thought of the band and the orchestra as one ensemble, and so I wrote the music from that angle. And the record it's like 6 different kind of movements or pieces, whatever you want to call it, and each one is about a different forest that I've been to. I was kind of under the gun to write. I had like, from the time we came up with the idea to the time we were recording, it was less than 6 months. And to write an hour's worth of music in 6 months is hard enough, but we were on tour the whole time, so I was writing on tour. So I needed something to kind of like really give me a clear, tangible direction, and so the theme of forests kind of came about, and it really helped inform the writing process. I definitely learned a lot from the process of composing music for an orchestra and then hearing music with the orchestra. You know, you hear the things that really work and the things that don't really work, and you know, okay, well, next time I'll do things a little bit differently. You know, one of my favorite things about the record is the sound of the low end of the orchestra melding with our low end, because our band is a very kind of bass, low end heavy group, you know, for a jazz group for sure. and I changed the instrumentation of the Metropole actually for us. So we added like low-end instruments. We added bass clarinets and contrabass clarinets and bass trombones and tuba and stuff. And so there's this really beefy orchestral low end that blends with like Moog key basses and electric bass, and that was really a really cool thing that I want to take more advantage of, you know. Something that didn't work. The most challenging thing I think about writing for an ensemble like this, that's like an electric band plus an orchestra, an acoustic orchestra, is understanding how to write so that the parts that you want to be heard are heard. You know what I mean? So like there can't be a moment where the whole band is playing really loud and the strings only have the melody, because you just won't hear them. You know, so like kind of composing with the final product in mind is I think it's a thing that most composers do all the time, but I learned a lot about kind of what works, you know, and kind of making, I guess what I mean is you have to make space according to what you want to be heard, you know, what you want to penetrate through the wall, you know. So that was really, really interesting, but it was an incredible process. It's an amazing thing to just write music and then to be there for that first moment when the conductor does this and then you hear, you know, you feel like there's no way I wrote this. Like that sound, you know, it's just the sound of an orchestra. It's incredible. Speed.